What's happening? It's Contrast Uncut, Season 2, Episode 12. It's your host, DJ Juan Dollars Like I Won Some Money, a.k.a. Xylo. Man, big shout outs to Bobby D Presents and Uncle Snoops Army. I wouldn't be able to do this without you, brothers. Ladies and gentlemen, I have a very, very special guest. I'm talking about mega talented, a philanthropist, a mega songwriter, Grammy winning, Grammy nominated, some of my favorite songs. And, he's definitely left his imprint on music and on society of, his intellectual ways. I have none other than the legendary RHYMEFEST in the building. How you doing, brother?
What up, bro? How you feeling, man?
Man, bro.
Hello?
Yes, sir. I'm virus free, quarantined, out the way.
You hear me? Yeah, what does that mean to you? What does quarantine mean to you?
Shoot, out the way and my own little dynamics of staying in closed quarters.
Yeah, I was listening to something Farrakhan was saying not too long ago, and he was saying we've been needing a quarantine for a long time, but we've been getting in our own way and getting in each other's way, and this is the only way that we've been forced to heal and come together. Think about it. It's this particular issue that brought me and you together right now. Like, this is what it took for us to love ourselves in private and love each other in public.
Yes, sir. Now
it ain't all bad.
As volumes, yeah. A lot of people get hung up on what they can't have versus embracing what they can have. What you can get, what you can hold. And, that's the greatest blessing I feel on this earth is what you can hold, to have, to cherish, and share. Knowledge is a big one.
Yeah. How's your family?
My family's good. My son is 6 and wild and running around, and my daughter's 3. They're keeping me busy. I just built them a bunk bed yesterday, and I grew up without a dad, so having to put something together, it was like a challenge. It took me 6 hours, but I loved it because I was home to do it.
Hey, think about how special these children are that are coming up right now. They get to live in a time that very few people in history, nobody in history can really attest to. A time of technology, a time of supreme political ignorance, obvious government corruption. Where it's obvious, it ain't like our government corruption. We saw it in the drug wars. We see it in the way hip hop, the business, but we didn't see it like how Malcolm X saw it. We didn't see it how some of these people that was really fighting the government, you know what I'm saying? We're seeing government corruption on that scale right now, and our children are growing up in a whole new world that we got to get used to, but it's going to be the only one they ever knew.
Right. It's like as we adapted with the times, they're coming into a time that's already set for them.
A time that's already been laid out for a new future, you know what I'm saying? And the most beautiful blessing, bro, I believe about it, is many of those kids are not being lost like we were to public schools. They're not being lost to systems that we just don't warehouse our children in. Many of these children right now are spending valuable time at home with their parents, bro. And who can teach a child better than a parent? There are studies done on homeschooling, all homeschooling more intellectually superior to public school or even private school children. Homeschool kids, by the time they 16, they in college. You know what I'm saying? Right. It's because nobody can teach your kids better than you.
Yes, sir. I can attest to that time. I can definitely attest to that. I was actually in college, and there was a girl that was 16, and she came from Nigeria. And, when she hit 21, she was already a doctor. Mm-hmm. And, it was just that principle that was instilled in her to be homeschooled. She came from Nigeria, moved to Sacramento, and developed fast and scored high on the SATs. And she was on the same dorm hall as me. 16.
You know why? Because the way we came up, the education we got, bro, I think was more about socialization than it was about education.
Yes, sir.
You know what I'm saying? Like they taught us how to like if you went to a school in New Orleans, they taught you hospitality because that's what they needed you to do. Work them boats, work that tourism. If you was in Vegas, you was learning stuff that was gonna serve you good for working in a casino. You wasn't serving nothing that was going for you to become a doctor. You know what I'm saying? But if your parents teach you, like it always amazed me, man, how many people was like, man, the schools need to teach this and the schools need to teach that. Now, no, you need to teach this and you need to teach that. Whatever made us think that a free education from this government was going to ever be what was best for the education of our children. You know what I'm saying? This is a great time for young people to get a real education, I think. But I think also, though, we got to find ourselves spiritually, man. Parents, like adults, young people, this is the time when, like, we really have to stop playing with spirituality and really like center ourselves because, yo, there may be famine coming. You know what I'm saying? There may be, I mean, I'm looking at, man, 50% of people in New York can't pay their rent. If they can't pay their rent, then the landlords can't pay the banks, then what? You know what I'm saying? So like, I ain't never seen the government giving away money. They giving it away because they want us to still believe it's real.
Right. Facts. It's a facade.
The minute we stop believing in money, don't shit matter but what we say.
That principle.
I think.
No, those are real core values because those are the real keys to life of actually, you know, becoming something, some on that spectrum of being successful in the pursuit of happiness.
Yeah, I think we've been going for a long time, man, and our real religion has been capitalism, and now it's being interrupted.
Facts. That's 100%.
You know?
Because how are you supposed to reach your inner space of yourself spiritually if you're already blocked by materialistic things that enrich you and make you want to jump to it?
Bro, I say that all the time. I always say, like, the moment I messed up, and a lot of artists mess up in hip hop, is the day we decide to sell our gift. That was the day that we betrayed it. Because at that minute, at that moment, it was like, if the market don't like it, you might throw your shit away and quit. You might feel like you don't even got a gift. You betrayed your gift because you tried to sell it and it worked or didn't work. You know what I'm saying? And so, like, you know, when I started doing hip hop, bro, it was because I wanted to be the best. I wanted to put words together. Look, I look at rapping like when you spell, when you write rhymes, you spelling. You putting a spell together. When you spit rhymes, you casting a spell. I always looked at it like it was magic, what I was doing. I was manifesting. The minute I started negotiating it on the marketplace, I betrayed the magic. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, so powerful.
And I had to find my way back. I had to find my way back to my magical practice without believing that it didn't have any value if it didn't sell. Like, you know what I'm saying? And I think a lot of people have problems with that. If I can't get rich and famous, if I can't raise myself up out of poverty with rap or with music or whatever, then why am I even doing it? Well, you don't play with art, it might kill you.
You know, the reason why I do this show is because I was once that person that in my mind, I had all these opportunities, but I built a cul-de-sac. I built a brick wall in front of all the opportunities versus building a bridge to the opportunities to make my life a better happiness. so I can find my purpose and deliver. And, during those transitions of taking the long route, it led me to have, this show. And it definitely allowed me to be like, hey, there's other people that are in that fork in the road that have these gifts, and they're challenged within themselves because they have these different personifications of what life should be. And, they're trying to pursue that, and, you get lost. And I could definitely say I was lost for a while. And then, as I kept on going on the journey, I continued to develop relationships and definitely encouraging other people to keep their integrity throughout all of this. And, it has, landed my name to be in good graces where I'm here today.
What is integrity to you?
Integrity means tell the truth, do the right thing.
How do you know what right is in a tricky situation?
I would say go with your gut, but at the end of the day, you really have to tune in with your spirit. Because, like, as much as I want to say it's the gut, you have to go with your spirit because you'll lead the right way. And, if you take the wrong way and the long way, because the wrong way, all it is a long way. And, when you take that route, all you're doing is developing more relationships and seeing more things with your eyes and touching more things with your hands.
I like what you're saying. I like there is no wrong way. There's just a long way. You know what I mean? Because everything is going to balance out. Everything is going to be what it's going to be, and I look at it like this. When a sperm goes for an egg, our daddies shot about 60 million sperm, and we the only one that penetrated the egg. We beat the biggest challenge in multi-universes before we even got here. Then we had to survive 9 months in our mother's womb, and then come out and grow up to be here. Bro, we beat the biggest challenges we'd ever faced in our life just to get to Earth. And in that, I look at it like integrity is only being true to yourself. But to be true to yourself, you got to know who you are. You got to know what your gift is. You got to know what your purpose is, and you got to move in it in clarity. And I think, I be using the word clarity over truth lately, because clarity means I can tell somebody exactly what it is so that there's no misunderstanding moving forward.
And you know what? Clarity comes from being crystal clear, from being communication, yes. All these different letter C's.
I agree with that. Communication, being clear.
It's critical.
So, and clear, and that's what I've learned in business. That's what I've learned in personal relationships. These are my love lessons. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just want to be as clear as possible. All the time. And just like you hit me up for this interview, right? I want to also, in being clear, I have an obligation to love and to teach. That is part of my purpose. So it's kind of like, man, we need to, right? This is the time where everybody need to be answering the phone. If somebody call you, pick the phone up. You never know what it's going to be. Like, you never know who going to need you or who you might need. People are thinking about you in this time who haven't thought about you in years. And I just think it's very important we say yes to whatever we can say yes to that doesn't cause us a burden. Say yes. There are no more considerations about, well, what about this and how's it gonna hit people and if this or that. Hey man, if you could say, like, you hit me up, yes, I'll do it. It don't take nothing from me.
I am grateful, brother. You don't even understand. Like, I get chills just
that makes sense
back of my mind. Like, come on.
Yeah. Is what I'm saying, does it make sense?
Absolutely. Because this is a time of opportunity. As we're all in a mind of crafting and developing, because we're all within the same 4 quarters. So it's important that, you get the opportunity to shed the light. Because, my show is all about the history. We're going to start diving into what the show's about. But it's important to shine the light. And I'm very grateful to have you on. And I'm grateful for all the other guests, because it's important to show people that, you can get there. There's thousands of ways to get there. But the main thing is you got to find your purpose to get there and get there.
My pleasure.
So I got a quote, my brother, and let me know how it relates to you, and let me know if it doesn't relate to you. It's contrast uncut. You ain't gonna hurt my feelings. If you have no critics, you'll likely have no success. Malcolm X.
Okay. What do I think of that?
Yes.
If you have no critics, not only will you not have any success, it's a danger to the world. I think we relate a lot of things just to us, and doesn't matter to us or not. Some things that are bad for you might have an impact on your influence on the world. Look at our leader of the United States of America. He fires his critics. 50,000 people dead now. Pandemic. It was bad for the world. But this goes into the one who doesn't like critique. And we talk about critique, not like somebody just trying to like trash you or demagnetize you. True critique comes from its construction, its building. So what are we saying when we say critique or critic? Like, I look at that as like somebody trying to help build you, you know what I mean? Right. So if it's someone who has a modicum of love for you and you know that, maybe it's something you should think about and then let it go.
See, a lot of people get hung up on that part and forget to let it go.
Think about it, consider it, change if need be, let it go.
And see, something beautiful that people forget is that if people are not willing to spend the time to talk about you, you didn't strike their mind enough to even be criticized.
Well, yeah. I look at it like, if people talking about you behind your back, you moving forward, you facing forward, you in front of them. So what does it matter?
Powerful.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, that means you facing forward. If you tripping on what people saying, y'all reflecting each other. You looking at them. You not looking forward.
That's so deep because you so focused on what's behind you instead of trying to be tunnel vision to what you should be going to.
And how many of us are focused on the past? That's our whole problem.
Right. They make the exception the rule, and then take the exception and make it all about their lives. And the whole thing is that
that's all about them. Isn't that so selfish? That sounds selfish. That's selfishness.
That's true.
Don't make it about you. Don't make it about the past. Make it about the future. And if we make it about the future, we'll realize it's about way more than us. And we'll act like that when we deal with one another.
Yes, sir.
I pray. Yeah.
No, I like to say that, knowledge is power, but when you use that knowledge, it's your superpower. And, you have to be able to tap in and utilize that power. It's a tool under your belt. You got to be able to use that tool when necessary.
All right, now it's time for me to rhyme. You ready for me to spit this rhyme I wrote?
Hit me. Come on. I'm honored. As long as I don't get a bill.
No. We remember that's when we messed up, when we took it to the marketplace. So I'm gonna say, no matter cotton gin, television, or computer, people then got exploited from the past to the future. Muhammad was a prophet, Mansa Musa was a ruler, Jesus Christ was the king, and Jacob was his jeweler. I don't know why I get deja vu's of Cuba, watching Havana burn in my parade with a Ruger. I dreamt I was a first-person shooter in a country where the president was Lex Luthor, trying to prevent your man from being super. I'm Joe Exotic with a dozen cougars, walking with Panthers while I'm wearing Pumas. In hip hop, I was a late bloomer. I couldn't think like a consumer who wanted goons and cartoons. I'm trying to study alchemist theories and dark moons. The soul of my heart just lit up when the words bloom. The ego, money, and business blew it apart. Boom! Pick up the pieces, let's resume. The simple is rich, but we got banks to put our wealth in. Only species make gas chambers to put ourselves in. Packed ships with slaves shelved in, that was held in. Prophet said the end was near, we couldn't tell when. Hard heads catch it in the tail end. Economy crash for a tailspin. Fairy tales end. Fast forward to corruption, panic, and war or pandemic. We are the virus we've been waiting for. That's the day. What you think?
Bruh, that was so powerful. Powerful. You've been on power this whole time. I don't even think you realize how much energy you giving off on this show. You got my computer getting ready to fire up.
We pray, bro. We pray, bro. Like, again, man, like, let me ask you, what's your gift?
What's my gift? I guess I have a gift of communicating. I mean, I'm very business minded, but at the end of the day, all the stuff just equals out. I understand things in simple ways. So I would have to say that's my gift.
Hey, you know what you just said is so powerful. So now think about everything that you can do with that gift. You can do a show like this. You could be a diplomat. You can be if you learn different languages, you could be a translator. You could build bridges internationally with different countries, different cultures. You could heal the world with the gift of communication. I think sometimes when we find our gift, we limit it to a career. When a gift is really a multifaceted thing. It's like, okay, I rap, but rapping ain't my gift. Rapping is what I use my gift sometimes to do. You know what I'm saying? Like, some of us have multiple gifts, you know what I'm saying? So like, my gift is, I view my gift as perspective. I have a very unique perspective. And that unique perspective allows me to see one thing 3 different kinds of ways and be okay with most things because I can see the dimensions of it. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Absolutely.
Perspective. And so like, I look at it like, man, what can I use that to do in this world, like, for my purpose? And I think once we find our gifts, that's when we gotta go fulfill our purpose. So now my question to you is, do you know what your purpose is?
Yeah, it's to, I've always said that music is medicine in my own life, and spreading that. It's just spreading the success from that medicine. That's my purpose, is to continue spreading the success stories from that derives from it. Because, a lot of us come from bad neighborhoods and, communities that are, constructed to fail. And when we have the opportunity to succeed, some people get to that moment and, they're scared of success. And so they back away.
And you help people to move forward through fear?
Yes, sir. I like to say I push people at moments they didn't realize they're being pushed, but I am pushing you. And, it's making things happen. And sometimes you have to be the visionary to see the light down the hall when all they see is just the door closed.
Who pushes you?
My wife, my children, my story, my history, because, everything has definitely developed me to the person I am today. So crazy, because you're interviewing me and I'm supposed to be interviewing you. And you know what?
No, we're having a conversation.
I love it.
We're having a conversation. And I think that's where the world needs to go right now, bro. Like, we need to relate to one another, I think.
Because I've always said that relationships are the key to everything. A lot of the time you can't get through this door, but you can call somebody and they will get you through that door. And it takes having that, that relationship built. A lot of people think this stuff just happens out of nowhere.
Well, you just said it. It takes having a relationship built, but building a relationship is a process that many of us don't have the patience for.
That's true. We're in an impatient demand world right now, unfortunately.
Especially for relationships. Think about how in hip hop we sell sex like instant. Fuck that bitch. Like, you know what I'm saying? Fuck that bitch. Let me fuck my bitch. Like, that used to be, sex used to be the product of a relationship built. Now it's something that's sold on the market. Music used to be something that was a product of experiences built. And that's how you knew good music, because it related to your experience. Now it's just something sold on the market. Do it sound like that, or do it sound like that? You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, everything used to be something, anything that was valuable comes from a process of something built. And I think we've been eating, listening to, consuming a lot of valueless stuff. And now we learn how to be human again and build things because we got to.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It's sort of unavoidable now. You know what I mean?
Good.
So, let me ask you this. Do you feel like the game chose you, or did you choose the game? It's an origin question.
Oh, man, that's deep. That's kind of like, is there such thing as destiny? You know, like, oh, that's really what that question is translated.
But you know, you got to walk by faith, not by sight. You know, you got to have
the free will of destiny. Hmm?
Yes, sir.
What you mean? What do you mean? You got to walk by faith.
You know, you got to have belief into what you're doing. You know, you can't just, you know, think it's going to happen and don't do nothing about it. And, you know, you got to have faith it's going to happen. You got to manifest greatness. You got to pray about it, manifest it, and work towards it.
Yes, all of that. I believe both are true. I believe there are things that are out of our control and things within our control. And that's what makes the world so crazy. That's what makes life so crazy, is that there are things that will happen out of your control, but it's how you react within it that matters.
Right.
So yes, somehow we are here in this experience. And then, like, and we don't believe we had nothing to do with being here in this experience. We like to tell our parents, I didn't choose to be born, but maybe you did. You know what I'm saying? But like, maybe you forgot, you know, that you chose to be born to those people. And, you know, you thought you said you made a promise you was going to do something before you got to this earth. And you're here to do what you said you would do, but you don't remember the promise you made before you got here. And it's like, so things happen, and how we react through it is what shapes tomorrow.
Yes, sir.
Like a mother and a father make a baby. They shape the future together. So I think everything is like that. I think this invisible thing we may call destiny may be the father, and we are the mother, and we are carrying the future with us as mankind.
So, would you say?
Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely. Because you know that, and definitely it's saying that pretty much, you know, as much as you chose, destiny allowed you to make your decision on you know what your choices were, and as much as you chose it, it chose you as well.
Yes, we chose one another.
Yes, and that's where
the moment we were born, destiny and us chose one another, and we get to choose whether or not we are going to be happy or peaceful in this experience that destiny will bring to us. That is our choice. The experience itself may not be our choice, but how we react in it is our choice. Facts.
Now, what would you say is your confirmation moment of like, you know, this is what you're supposed to be doing? You know, what was that phone call or that email or that letter that, you know, it would definitely solidify that, you know, this is your destiny?
Heartbreak. I think every time you've gotten your heart broken, whether it was a time you thought you were supposed to get paid and you ain't get paid, and you was like, this is the worst, I'll never work with them. Oh, I thought they was my friends. Or your girl cheated on you, or she left you because you messed up, or you disappointed yourself. All of those things are opportunities to learn and become better. And so when you ask me what that point was for me, it was all of the moments I can remember of deep heartbreak. because that's when I had to find a magic tool called love and forgiveness. And that changed everything.
Wow. Because I mean, you know, history said itself, and a lot of stuff you've done, and you definitely, everything you've crafted was molded and specifically spelled together. And I mean, even what you're able to spit on here, it was perfectly crafted and molded together so that, you know, it touched the time of right now. And so it's just, it's so deep, because when you replied back to me, it's like, I mean, we're talking about just Jesus walks, I mean, glory. I mean, just the you know, just the heavy hitters to begin with. And it's just, those songs are resonating to today for their purpose.
Yes. But you know, I also look at things like, once it's done, it's dead. Everything that happened yesterday don't exist no more, bro. We get, again, that's looking back. If I were to be like, oh man, yeah, you know, we did that, it was like this, so I feel this way about this or that. All that shit dead. I'll be stuck in the past. What will I do tomorrow is the question. I think we have to, if we gonna stay alive, man, and grow old gracefully and keep our youth, we have to do the best we can each individual day.
So you don't do any reflecting of you know, the growth and, you know, the journey to today? Because I know yesterday is definitely of the past, and yesterday is definitely of no longer. We can't buy that time back. We can't do anything for it. And I get it's dead. But you know, there's definitely, I believe life is about memories and experience, not about days and years and months.
Well, I think the value in that is for the future, right? So people today can read what Malcolm X went through and grab value out of that for their lives today, in the future. People can listen to Jesus Walks in Glory for inspiration today. You know what I'm saying? And that's great. That I mean, I am blessed, and man, I'm so blessed and highly favored and thankful that I was chosen as part of a portal for that. But it does no good for me. It helps others, and I'm grateful that others are helped. But for me, it's dead. For the one who will discover the song tomorrow, it's very much alive. But if I get caught up in it, then I am now caught up in the paralysis of analysis. I can't make the next song.
Gotcha.
Does that make sense or no?
Absolutely.
Like I have to be able to think forward to make the next song, so I can't be too caught up in the other one.
No, I mean, I got you. You got to keep the hits coming. You can't be caught up on a hit from 3 months ago, because you're messing up your destiny of tomorrow.
I think so. I think that's how moving forward works.
It's so crazy, because I've definitely, like, I've been doing this since December. You know, I've been in radio in college. I was a general manager of a radio show, an online radio show. I've done some things, but you know, haven't had the ability to be the host of my own show. And it took the thing of people telling me no, you can't join this. No, you can't have this. And no, I don't want to give you this opportunity, for me to say, you know what, I need to create my own. And I need to have my own content and do it my own way. And then I need to host it so that it's done the way I want to have it done, because I recognize what it's missing. And, you know, I definitely feel like that's to a degree of what you've done in this society of music. And
well, you know, anything to be valuable, for anything to work well, it has to have resistance. Nothing works well without resistance. You know?
I love
anything that. Anything without resistance, we say is broke.
Because it's so free, it has to be something wrong.
Yeah. You want your steering wheel to be a little tight. You don't want it to just be like this when you're driving. You want it to have a little resistance to it, so you know you're going left, you're going, you know what I mean? It kind of come back, even though you turned it this way and want to go back that way. Like, yo, you everything that works well, that helps us move forward, has a bit of resistance. Even your woman.
Right.
Even your children. Yeah. That's what makes you better as a man. It tries you. It tests you. It forces you to be centered when things are going too far right or too far left. Resistance.
Facts.
I get it.
You know, I definitely like to say I shoot for the stars, and I'm okay with landing back on the ground because it gives me a chance to have more momentum to jump back into the stars. And, you know, my wife grounds me every day. And so, you know, it's humbling.
Yeah, man, that's a blessing. It's a blessing. It's a blessing that you with somebody that makes you better, that heals you. That's good.
Yes, sir. I'm grateful, brother. I'm grateful. You know, I won't take, you know, as much as I want to say, I can, you know, if there's one thing I can do differently about the past, that one thing is nothing. And so I want to ask you, what's one thing that you could do differently about the past? Man,
but damn, hold on. You just gave me your answer, and then you're going to make me feel bad if I say, well, I want to do this, and this different. You like, because I ain't going to do nothing different. Now, what you going to do? So, you know, I don't know. If I could do, I mean, look, if I had I thought about this not too long ago. If I had the opportunity to go back and speak to my younger self, I might fuck my younger self all the way up. You know what I'm saying? Like, I might be like, yo, man, like, don't do that. Don't, wait, tell that nigga, like, oh, wait, don't fuck her. Like, you know what I'm saying? I might do that and then, like, mess my whole timeline up. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I don't think it does me any good. Again, when we talked about things that are done or dead, it don't do me no good to go resurrecting shit. Like, it'd be like, what would I do, you know, in my mind? Like, but I can say this, what would I like to do going forward that I would not have any regrets about?
Yes, sir.
And I think what I would like to do going forward that I know I wouldn't have any regrets about, I wake up every day, man, and I close my eyes and I breathe, make sure I can breathe. I wiggle my fingers and my toes, make sure everything works. Like, before I even get out the bed, before I even acknowledge, before I even look at my phone, I check myself. You know what I'm saying? Am I breathing right? Is my body moving? And then I think about, what was I just dreaming about? I always think about what my last dream was to see if I can remember it and be like, like, what do that got to do with reality or what's coming up or what just happened? And then, like, I'm just checking myself mentally, and then I throw everything out of my mind and I don't think about nothing. And then I just lay in the bed. Like, bro, me getting up takes about 40 minutes because I have to, like, do a spiritual check. And I throw everything out of my mind. I don't think about nothing. I use it as meditation. Then when my mind comes back, I consider, what do I want to do today to make this a successful day? And I think of 1, 2, 3 things. I get up out the bed, I drink water, I take a long walk for about an hour, walk my dog, and then I come back and I start working. But I've prepared myself. Like, when I walk out the door, can't nobody tell me shit. I've dealt with the best and the worst parts of myself before I even got out the bed. I've dealt with my darkness and my light before I even got out the bed. So what? Like, you know what I'm saying? So now I'm moving through this day. I ain't gonna have no regrets. I've already considered this day before I got up. How many of us take the time to not let the day push us around? We get up, first thing we do, we check the phone. All right, what I gotta do? What the kids? What the woo? Man, we better learn how to stop time, stop everything, and be like, wait, nothing. okay, I know what we got to do. Like, that's how I come to you. That's how the brilliance come to you. That's how the spirit come to you. That's how the ideas come to you, by not letting the day push you around. Take time. And preferably as soon as you realize you awoke.
Man, that is so impactful. Because I mean definitely in perspective daily.
Daily. Practice that. That's spirituality before you even start your day. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is the time we got to take care of ourselves mentally, spiritually, and physically, bro. For real. It can mean your life.
Real talk.
People ain't dying from corona. They dying from complications from corona. You know what I'm saying? Yes, and I think every day you gotta ask yourself, are you a survivor? Consciously. And I'm gonna ask you that, bro. I mean, and it's okay, no matter what you think your answer is. But are you a survivor?
Absolutely.
Then you'll be all right.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
No question.
Yo, everybody can't answer that like that, for real. Like,
my brother, I got off a plane, flew to Chicago, right? Didn't know where I was going. I just knew I was coming to go visit somebody. I'm in college. I get on the rails, and I'm in West Chicago, and I'm right there off somewhere like Sacramento. And I know it's a project right there, Puerto Rican project, so I had to walk past it, all my luggage, and had to get through there to get to the house I was staying at. And nobody wanted to pick me up. I made it through all of that to get there, and I was untouched. The grace of God. But at the same time, it's the way I carry myself and the way I respect people. I don't nod up, I nod down. I'm respectful. And I kept it pushing. And it's crazy because my 2-3 days of being there, someone got killed in the alley. It was, it was active. And so I think about, those elements. I'm bringing up Chicago. I'm from LA. LA, I have numerous things where shit doesn't happen. And the number one thing that got me through it all is staying true to myself and being respectful and, recognizing my opportunity to get out the situation.
So you survived those things. Let me ask you a question. Are you a survivor of spiritual warfare? Because that's what we at right now. Spiritual warfare. You survived being in between physical warfare.
Well, I definitely say
you survived this invisible enemy.
Yes, absolutely, brother. I mean, at the end of the day, you have to be in tune with your inner space. You have to, be able to move subconsciously with your spirit. And, in the different auras that you give off, and in the same thing, the different auras you read and vibe with. And, you have to be a survivalist in that state of mind.
Yeah, that's how I feel like it. And I think we also got to be like very intentional about it. Like when we talking about surviving, it's like the things you doing with your kids, you very intentional every day about what you got to do with them shorties. You know what I'm saying? Like now, you also got to be very intentional about what you eat, what you feeding them. Very intentional about what they learning. Very intentional about what are you doing spiritually to take care of yourself. Because spirituality is a muscle, just like I do push-ups every day. I make sure I do about 120 push-ups a day at least. And so my thing is I'm intentional about that so that as we quarantine it, my body don't lock up and I don't get all, you know what I'm saying? What are we doing spiritually?
Right.
To keep you got to do that, bro. That's quiet time.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, in order.
And that's also this. Like, this is part of your meditation. I look at it like what we doing right now, bro. I mean, at least me, like, ain't nobody really getting paid big dollars for it. So it's like we doing it because this is part of our peace. This is part of how you exercise your gift to communicate and build bridges. This is part of what you would like to be a job, but I really look at it as part of your spirituality. You using your gift. You got to make sure you don't stop doing this.
Man, that's so deep and so true. Because I mean, you know, I grew up on buses and public transportation, and I'd have so many people tell me their life stories and tell me so many intricate parts, and it'd be like, oh, I know this because this and that because of this, and you know, those things stay with me. They stick with me like music sticks with you. You know, you hear something big from, you know, Frankie Beverly and the Maze, and you know, you hear that you know that Joyous Pain, and just you know that songs that when you hear that guitar sound and chords, it's just you get that energy, and you know, I feel like to a degree that's you know that's the gift that I have, and you're absolutely right. I have not got paid for any of my interviews, and you know it's a work in progress. And I don't look at it for the money. I look at it as for the story to be told, the success, and you know being in those intricate parts of trying to reach it.
And that's what matters, bro.
Oh, thank you. Thank you, because I'm honestly being recognized because of it, and you know I'm grateful, very grateful. I wouldn't have Snoop Dogg and his agent behind my show. I feel like regardless, our cross would have passed, our paths would have crossed at some point, just to the simple fact of how open you are to your spirit, and you know you was accepting to my invitation to the show. You was like, you know, is this, you know, where's my invitation? So we get this going.
Yeah, let's get it going. Again, I mean, I'm gonna come back to the first thing. We in a time where if you can say yes, say yes. We grateful for the opportunity to have any kind of audience that cares about anything. Maybe we can help somebody with this conversation with one thing that we say tonight. You know, like that right there might change the world. That might be the next big idea. You know what I'm saying? That we had clues to, but somebody else put together.
Yes, sir. It's crazy.
And that's how it works, man. And that's love, because I realized this too, bro, is that we as human beings, we talk about race. It really ain't no race, man. Race is a trick that we was taught to like split us apart based on things that don't even matter, bro. Like really the only thing that matters like is we in the same tribe or not. And how do we know if we in the same tribe? And that's our values.
Right.
Our values. You know what I'm saying? If somebody might be the same color as you and not have the same values as you, what do that mean for your kids? You gonna still put your kids around them because they your race? Like, you know, all skin folk ain't kin folk. You know what I'm saying? Right. So I look at it kind of like, you know, like we can have black, brown coalitions. We can have all kind of coalitions, bro. Like, but it got to be centered around what's our values.
Facts.
Me and you got similar values. That's why it works.
Absolutely. You know, the whole idea of the show Contrast Uncut is because, you know, my skin color is this, but I was raised culturally. I do have a little bit of African-American black in my blood, but you know, that's nothing compared to what meets the eye and the controversy that signifies with that. And you know, I've battled it. You know, my wife is African-American, my children are mixed. You know, I'm very grateful and blessed to have, you know, the choice and ability to be in the situation I'm in. But at the same time, I go through scrutiny at the same time. Like, and it's like, it takes a second for people to open their mouths and give a chance for me to reach out or vice versa. And, you know, things do happen. And that's why Contrast Uncut is here.
How have you learned how to deal with that?
So you just take it like salt, wash it down, and it'll come out the other way some kind of way, and you know, keep it moving. You talk about it. I speak about it with my wife. It's crazy because, like, you know, she's a preschool teacher at a Christian academy, and you know, some people at the school, they love me, but people that work for her, they'll see me in other places and they'll be racist to me. And you know, I noticed that y'all dogging me out, y'all doing this, and it's like, you know, it's okay. I'm okay with it. That's your guys' choice. I'm still gonna be respectful and happy.
Respectful, happy, and loving to your wife. And I believe that's the kind of peace, what you're talking about is the kind of peace that changes other people's hearts, even the ones that was being bogus. because they'd be like, damn, it's only affecting me, not him. I need to be more like how he is. That's your example. That's your example making change.
Man, no, you made me think about these things I haven't thought about in a while. Good.
Yeah.
And you know what? You make me appreciate the values of the way I think. Sometimes I be thinking like I'm crazy because, you know, not a lot of people beat to the same drum that I beat to. And, you know, it definitely took a while for me to understand the person in the mirror is the person that I see finally, not the smoky cloudiness that I keep on thinking I see. And, you know, once you understand that and you're comfortable with it, I really feel like you get that laser focus on what you're supposed to be doing.
Yeah, you know, I believe a lot of people are afraid of who they really are, and you just somebody who's not. And so a lot of people really wish they could be like what we talking about, and that's why we're talking about it, to say it's okay to be that now. It's okay, and it's time to come out and be your authentic self. Some things are bigger than business. Some things are, you know what I'm saying? Like, we in a time where it's like, what else you got to do and what you got to lose by being authentic? You know what I'm saying? And this is what people like me and you, this is the part of the world people like me and you been waiting on for a long time. So I think we have to take advantage of this opportunity, and we have to be the best and the brightest that we can be in this time, because this is the time that all of the weirdos were waiting for.
No, you know, real talk, bruh. At the end of the day, this is definitely, I felt like, you know, the world stopped, but how can I keep it going? And everybody else thought like that the same way are the people that are really benefiting the fruits of their labor right now.
Yeah, I agree, bro. I agree.
And, you know, that's opportunity. When I say fruits of labor, is opportunity. And, you know, it's up to that person to interchange that heat to something more valuable or into something else that they, you know, want to achieve or admire to have.
But, you know, sometimes what we do when we talk about fruits of labor and stuff like that, we plant seeds and we keep moving on to different farms before our crops grow, and then everybody else eats the fruits of you the only one that never gets the fruits of your labor, because we didn't have the patience to really farm the land and stay there. So you'll get one idea and be like, I'm gonna do this. And then you get tired of the process, and before it even grows, you overdoing, so I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna get it like this. And it's like, you know, people chasing stuff. And then you look back and you like, man, if I would have stuck with that, look, he took my idea and made $1 million. Or he took my idea and, man, I built that and this happened or that happened. Well, you moved on. You know what I'm saying? So like, you know, I think when we talk about the fruits of our labor, it's really about how patient are we in the process of being farmers.
That's true. That's so true. Because, you know, there's hunters, there's gatherers, and, you know, some of us have to be both and have to know when to turn it on and turn it off.
I agree.
So, you know, I was once told that, you know, we all got a monster inside of us, and a lot of us know how to control it and tame it, and other people allow the monster to come out. What would you say your mantra of a monster is?
Well, yeah. When I think about monsters and stuff like that, it's just your darkness. Everybody got darkness. Everybody got light. Like I said, I deal with my darkness before I even get out the bed in the morning, man. But like, how do I deal with my darkness? Man, I give myself time to grieve, and I don't be tripping. Like, I think a lot of us don't like give ourselves a day to be like, this is how I feel today, and I'm not gonna project that on nobody else. You know what I mean? Like, a lot of times with our monsters, like, it's monsters to other people because we project it. You know what I'm saying? So when I'm feeling a certain way, I withdraw. You know what I'm saying? I withdraw and I deal with myself, whatever I'm feeling. You know what I'm saying? And I often find out when I withdraw, I come back better than ever because I dealt with myself and nobody saw it or dealt with it but me. I think anything you would call your monster is go away and deal with that motherfucker.
And get
Don't put it on your kid. Don't put it on your wife. Even if she got on your nerves and you think that's the cause of it, we're responsible as men, bro. We're responsible for everything that happens to us.
That's real. To be the man.
Go deal with your monster. Don't let it be projected. If you might kill, you might destroy the world.
Man, I ain't gonna lie, RHYMEFEST. I'm not gonna lie, bro. Like my whole show, I normally got this whole segment to segment, but I went with my gut on how I should handle the show because I could tell right away the aura was so strong, the energy was so beautiful that, you know, all I could do is just dig into it. I couldn't ignore it. And so, you know, I definitely want to make sure we get a part 2 to this so that we have the whole other way. But this stuff, this content, this conversations, the magnitude of gems that was dropped was so necessary. I mean, you know, especially for the times that we're in, and not only that, for the future that we're going into. This is definitely a segue moment for people to recognize their potential and where to, you know, not let the dead energy go and where to put the efforts to.
Well, you know, I appreciate you hitting me up and following through so expeditiously, bro. And like, whenever you would like to speak to me, just reach out to me. Just invite me.
Bet.
Love.
So, before we wrap up, my brother, let me ask you, what are you most excited for coming up? What are we talking about? What's in the plans? What's in the future?
Man, bro, I got a book I'm about to release that's crazy. Like, everybody should be writing right now. Everybody should be journaling. These are historic times. People gonna care about what you have to say from this day. You know, people are gonna want personal accounts, you know, so make sure you journaling and writing. And I got a book called Love Lessons that's about to drop along with the album. But I'm working on a couple projects right now. Like I'm really in shape, you know what I'm saying, lyrically. I'm really in shape, you know what I'm saying, in terms of just spitting rhymes. And I'm just, you know, Jazzy Jeff convinced me to take the microphone out the closet and put Ableton on my laptop, you know what I'm saying? So I'm recording at the crib every day, you know, and I'm just, I got a lot coming. And I'm building up the artillery, man, so I can go to war with it.
Let's go.
That's up.
No, I'm happy you brought up DJ Jazzy Jeff because he was definitely someone that said that stuck with me. Leave it all out.
Yeah.
And it stuck with me because, you know,
one of the things Jeff will say too. He got a saying where he say die empty.
Yeah, there you go.
Die empty. Don't die with a whole bunch of stuff you meant to do. Do it now. Die empty.
There we go. You took my paraphrasing and actually phrased it exactly how I was supposed to go, quoted it. My bad, OG.
No, it's just because I hang with Jeff, so I know. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, I get it.
Really?
Yeah.
Man, I normally flip the end of the interview and be like, man, you got any questions for me? But bruh, we've been going back and forth. It's been amazing.
We had a real conversation.
Yes, Lord. Thank you.
Yeah, I appreciate you, man. Like I said, hit me anytime, bro.
Man, it's Contrast Uncut, Season 2, Episode 12. I've had the pleasure and the honor of really just, man, rocking with the legend. RHYMEFEST, everybody, man. Thank you, my brother. Thank you.
Yo, much love, bro. Love is the key. Thank you.
Absolutely. Big shout outs to Bobby D Presents and Uncle Snoop's Army. Boom.